Hey folks, welcome back. Okay, so this is the beginning of a new video, and we'll call this the planting. So I'm here at Canna Crossings, and what? They're all filled with hostas. Well, this was where we split the hostas and we put them in so they'd start to grow, and then we're gonna now transplant them into where they actually are gonna live, because this is still Canna Crossing. We're not gonna change that. So, we've got tons of them here, so I'm gonna dig them up and put them in buckets, and we're gonna start to plant them. I'm gonna try and keep them all color separated. It's kind of nice now, you can actually see the leaves. So you'll see these are nice big green, and then all of a sudden, got some green and white. I'm not the best on names. Nellie is the name person, but these are, completely different little hostas. That's probably the same as the ones over there. So I'm gonna group them up. And because Nellie is going to be planting the canna soon. She's already planted this bed back here, and this is going to be a bed right here in front, of course, in the Canna Crossing. So I got to get this stuff out of here so she can plant them. So that's what I'm doing today. And it's going to be crazy because we're going to be in the woods garden, which you can't really see. I'll just come over here, and it's way deep in there. But first, while I'm here, I do want to show you what the plants look like when you split them. Because remember, I did the splitting video and I was quite aggressive. Some of them I only made a 6-inch radius. But as you can see, it's still May 14th, I think. But you can see, you can barely tell, and they're perfectly round. Big, round plants. Here, I'll get that. This is actually what they look like. I had it on the wide angle, but you can see this bed is coming in extremely nicely, and you wouldn't even know that they were split. These were the ones that we split and we buried. I buried probably 4 inches beneath the ground, and you can see completely flourishing, and you would never know that that was a 6-inch radius. Like, I'm gonna put my hand down here just to give you a, look what happens. You cut them down to 6-inch, and we got a video. You can see us actually doing these, but yet they come in like this. And I guarantee you, they're gonna spread to right about there to there. Now maybe the root section won't, but the leaves will just go out. So it's gonna be a probably 3 to 4 foot plant, even though we split it down to 6 inches. So that's really kind of neat. That's where Nellie planted the red cannas, right in there. So hopefully they'll start to grow soon. Rose garden, she's working back in there. Horseshoe, sorry, I'm zooming all over the place. Horseshoe, I'm just trying to give you an idea of where we are. And all the cannas that we did split went up into are planted and very successful. I'm gonna take a quick walk. I'm completely digressing here, but we'll take a peek over here and just show you the growth. This wasn't planted this year. This is the hillside garden, and all we did was have rocks. We cleared it last year and we had rock beds, but you can see these are the cannas that were split. I think there's 200 and some cannas in here that are growing nicely. These are split, so they really didn't have much of anything, but you can see that in the next few years it's going to be pretty cool. And we've got a nice cap on the top here. Beautiful row here, growing spectacularly. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be one of those days. You can see a beautiful ridge here. We haven't got back into there yet. That's another project. And this is the final cap here. But these were all just split maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month ago. And there's another cap here. So that when you're down in the actual garden, you can look up and it's gonna be really cool. So I'm in the bed right now digging them up, and as you can see, they're beautiful, healthy plants. And we just kind of lift them up and grab them. One thing I will say about splitting, that's the way to go to to save yourself some money, but you still need the varieties. And we've purchased a ton of these from a place near, in between Gann and Kingston. It's actually located in Kingston, but it's in between Gann and Kingston, and it's called Made in the Shade perennials. And they have an unbelievable selection of hostas, some really rare ones. Most of them are, usually 2 years old. It's not a box store, so they're grown there on site, extremely healthy, and definitely recommend, because most of these, even if we've just bought 2 or 3, in 3 years, and then we split them, a lot of these have come from there. So definitely recommend checking them out to get some good, mature, very healthy, fast growing. And, I think the ones that we bought last, I think they're 2-year-old plants. So they're not just brand new cuttings like these are. This would be a brand new cutting. They would be much more mature, full root structure plants. So anyway, check them out. So I'm on the woods. No, I'm not on the woods. I'm in the woods on my knees planting hostas, and you can see we're at the very back. So gardens are way over there. Enchanted Gardens over there. Nellie's probably still painting over there. Yes. And so that's what I'm doing. So this is how we're going to plant them. Oh my gosh. And we're going to just fill them up even more than they were, because this will all sink down. So we're going to mound them right up just so that the roots don't rise to the top. So I'll catch you in a second when this bed is complete. Okay, I'll get back to the beds I was doing way up there. I'm just going to show you the entrance. Because you got to remember the Enchanted Gardens, yes, hideously dirty work. I need to go and get a manicure. Anyway, on the other side is the Enchanted Garden, and this is going to be your way up to the Enchanted Garden. And we kind of want you can see the way this is now going to be an inviting, it's going to say they're going to fill in hostas, and they're nice white green hostas. So it's going to be a nice path there. I'll just come up a little. You can see there's nothing on this side. And that's what I'm going to try and do right now. Get that filled in, and then you'll see that it'll be a nice inviting path up. So this is done. That's what it's going to look like. I still have to do that bed, 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 and I'm half done the big one up there, and I've done those 2 there. Oh, done 1 there. Still got another. Anyway, there's way too many to do, but we're slowly getting through them. So now it's on to, I think, a couple more on this one just to get to the end, and then this whole bay here just to make a nice entrance way so you can kind of go, oh, this is where I'm supposed to go. So now I'm going to try and get some of the, I guess, the big daddy, or I'm not sure of the names. Natalie is good at the names, and she's talked to Laura at Made in the Shade Perennials, and she's going to come over here, maybe, hopefully, please come and help us out with some of these names. So we bought them over the last 14 years, and the tags disappear, and we've never been super hosta people, although we have lots of them. But it'd be nice to have some labels on them. So that would be something we would like to do this year. So anyway, I'm going into making these smaller beds. I'll show you what I've done so far, but now I want the smaller beds all the same. So that'll probably be 1 bed with these big leafed, and maybe a little bed with these little squiggly ones. And that's kind of where we are now. So I'm back at the entrance from the garden to the wooded garden, I guess you'd call it. And you can see we got that done now. We've got this one done. So nice, really nice entrance in there. I'm starting back there to come across there. And you can see this one goes all the way up there and even back in there. So really nice inviting path. It's going to be now, I'm going to work on these smaller beds, and they're all over the place, and I want different colored hostas. This guy's hilarious. I actually planted, we just wanted to test to see if they grew in the woods, and this was probably maybe 3 years ago. And I just planted them in the woods. Then I came out and built the walls and went, I think they're in here somewhere, where they weren't. They were right there. You can see this rock there's some of it growing in there. So I missed that one. And then it came down And there was another hosta right here. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it was not even in the bed. So I made this kind of a neat thing, and you can see the hostas coming up, growing. So we tried it for, 3 years, and, this was a test. It was just in the middle of the woods. We put a hosta, and it worked, so we built a little thing around it. And again, it worked. So we just came in here and we just started planting hostas just to test and see if they work in the woods, because I know everyone says they're shade plants, and yeah, they are, but they do so well in the sun, as you saw early in the video, maybe last video, I don't even know, done so many, but the ones in the sun are like just gigantic. When they come in the shade, they still exist, so they don't die. So that's, I guess they are shade existent, but I think that they do very well with, half sun, half shade. But anyway, we did the test. It worked. We got all this. So these are, been here forever. And so then we built walls, because I didn't really want to build walls and have this woods garden, spend all this time, and then come back and say, hey, it didn't work. Now this section is probably, there's the buckets I'm bringing up. This section with the paths here and the rock is probably this will be its 3rd year. So you can see everything, and it's completely shade here. Let's look up. So we're in the woods. You can see by the size of these trees, just huge mammoth trees that are here. But anyway, they've worked. Every bed is lusciously growing, and it's still May, so typically you wouldn't expect them to come up till June, but it's worked. And since it's worked, that's what's kind of spurred us on. I'm always going too fast with the camera. I'm whizzing around because I'm looking with my eyes, which is much better than the camera. But anyway, you can see that everything is taken, and some of them that have been in here for a while. This is probably an original hosta, very healthy. Very healthy. So they do, they do work in the woods. And so this has been here a while. All these paths need to get, we've kind of let them grow, and they've got this skunky, whatever this thing is. But we got to get them out. That's another day. We'll remove them and then maybe put mulch. But there's kind of some neat little paths around here. All these walled gardens with these little nooks and crannies and places to go, and everything will fill in here soon. And now we're doing this, the entrance to the Enchanted Garden. So back to work. Oh my gosh, it looks so much better with actual plants in it. I'm sick and tired of looking at them like this, and then all of a sudden you put a big plant in, and wow. So anyway, across this row right here, and then we'll do that one there, and this one right here. Okay, so I'm tuckered out, so I'm going to call it a day, but I'm going to show you what I accomplished. So we've got this beautiful hosta wall that's going to invite you up. And we've got that as a, zoom in here, nice white hosta, green with white edges. And then this back bed, that's kind of a 3 hosta bed. I'm going to sneak in here. And it's got a nice yellow bordered hosta. There's 3 of them in this bed. And then we come back. We've got these big green monster. They grow like 4 feet wide. Some of them even bigger. So that's in that row. I'm gonna try and sneak up through here. And we've got this little bed here, and we've got these little green, like very limey hostas in this bed. So that's done. You can see this, that's the border, continues on there. We'll get to that in a second. I got these beds done too. I'll come down from the bottom so you can actually see that they're actual beds. And same thing as the last bed. I kind of kept all the beds with the same hostas in them. So this has got that big leafed hosta in this bed, and then we come back, and this is a lighter green leaf in this little bed. We climb a little more. And we've got that lime green, very tight, twirly in that bed. Come down to this one. And this is the more of a limey green. Hostas planted in there. And this is the very top. This will be the border. You'll be able to see this from the gardens. And this is that white-leafed hosta. You can see I've got it all there. This will be a pathway at some point. Not now. We've got it. This is all got to be. This is what the woods looks like before we clean it. Just hideous. It was like years of death. And then when we finally clean it, it looks like that. So we got lots of area to make it bigger. But let's complete this first, because we still got to get rid of some of this new growth that's happened. When we cleaned it had no growth. And there's certain trees that have said, we want to live. We want to be in the enchanted garden. So anywho, this nice top border has been done. I have one more to do here, but I'm not going to do it now because I'm really tuckered out. I will do that tomorrow. And little entrance here. And you can see we've planted the hostas right around the corner there. So this is back to the gardens that way, and you can see the path has beautiful borders on it. Enchanted garden over here. We're just, we've completed the coats on all the, well, half of the mushrooms and ornaments. They will come out, so nothing's planted in these beds. We're gonna put the ornaments out first. But, so this is the entrance kind of path, and you can see I've capped it off with exactly the same on the other side, the same hosta, so it's gonna look really inviting. And I did a little bit there, and then calling it a day. So that's today. It really looks, I know the camera never does it justice, like when you look at a camera and you the video after and kind of go, well, what are they talking about? But if you were here in person, it actually looks like, everything looks so far away, but I don't know how my eyes would see it, but it'd probably be something like this. I'll go slow, and then you can see that it's very inviting to come up. And imagine in a few years when these are massive hostas, it's going to be really cool. So that's, you kind of get where we're going with this. And pretty cool to think that, you know, most of this has all been planted in one day. The hardest part is building the beds and bringing the dirt in. That's done. So I got one more day of just finishing off a few beds, and then I think we can call this, it's never complete. Like I'll go, oh, we need one there if nothing comes back in. These are old ones that have been here for a while. And then these ferns are, you can see I've got ferns planted here. Fern, but they're very, very tiny. You can see them all the way up. But they may become hostas and retransplant this in an area that these ferns enjoy it better. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow with some more updates. So I'm back at Canna Crossings, digging out more hostas. Nellie's creating a dust storm, cutting the grass that she cut yesterday. So I'll just show you right here. So I've used up all these. I kind of just take them in their colors. So we got a little section left there. All this is dug up. We got some big, beautiful ones. These will be all the same right here. And we've got probably 6 or 7 of these little beautiful, like they're just beautiful. So we've got a bunch of them. And we've got this row here. And then we've got more over here. I'll take you down here. And then they're finally all dug up. So we've got these ones here. So that's where I am right now. I'm still planting in Sherwood Forrest. I've got 2 beds to do there. And then we're gonna have to find other places for these. So it looks like we got a good amount of hostas this year. We did a lot of splitting, and it's worked out well. Anyway, back to you in a bit. In the woods on my hands and knees, planting, nothing. A little bit more here and one more row there. Capiche? She's done. So that's where I am. Buckets of hostas. It's coming. Okay, so I'm in Sherwood Forrest. And we don't have any of our sculptures and stuff out yet, but this is the last plant. I didn't fill it in so you could enjoy this moment with me. And then this entire section, everything you see has been planted. I can zoom as far as you want to go. Well, not as far as you want to go, as far as this camera will allow me to. And it's all done. So it's going in. Oh, I haven't cleaned out this. These for those of you that don't know, this is a trillium. This is our provincial flower. So it's actually, we're not allowed to even touch it. So we don't, and we wouldn't anyway, just because it's kind of neat, kind of a neat ground cover. But that is the trillium. That is Ontario's flower, provincial flower. So beautiful, trillium. Anyway, this is quite exciting. I never thought we would actually get this completely done. Just bringing the soil into all these beds was, you know, I was almost emotional because it's been, you know, 2-3 years of slowly cleaning out the woods and making it into, you know, what we have here. All these little gardens. More trilliums, can't touch them. You can see everywhere you go, these beds are now filled and planted. So even down there, beds planted. Gotta remember to go slow. I'm looking in a different place than the actual camera is. But anyway, this whole section is done. This is what it looked like. That's for those of you that don't know. You can kind of see it stops here, and it's honestly a foot thick of leaves, sticks, branches, trees, the amount of trees that are down. This was all what we were facing with before. You know, big trees down. And so it's, you know, months just to clean, you know, the floor up, cut down some trees, and then you've got to dig the rocks up from the ground. So it's just been, you know, something that we kind of got going, and we thought, hey, we maybe bit off more than we can chew. But we get to this point where, you know, it's not done. It's never done. Like, you know, Nellie will grab a plant. We're always going to buy plants, and we're always going to split hostas, and, you know, she'll find another spot. You know, hey, let's jam this in here. But to actually, you know, for me to walk down here and think of what was here, this was woods. You couldn't walk in here. You couldn't see in here. And to see, you know, that's the one I just finished. I think I was talking to you there a few minutes ago. And just to see all of this done like this, it's really cool and very rewarding. That's the best thing about planting, is it's rewarding. You know, you put in all this work and it looks great, and next year you kind of go, oh, because these are planted last year, and there they are. Haven't done anything this year to them. They've just shown up. You know, just the way it is. You know, these were a few years ago, and there they are. They're all, hosta is a very easy to grow plant. Like, you really can't screw up a hosta. Look at this one. It just, all by itself. We haven't put anything around it, but they just grow. So if you want something easy, get a hosta. When it gets big, split her down, and make babies until you've got too many. And you might think, okay, because, you know, we still have where I was in Canna Crossings, digging up the hostas that we have temporarily in that bed. You're thinking, okay, well, that's a ton of hostas, and then we have the 180 that's out back in our backyard that's ready to go in the enchanted garden. You'll think, okay, well, these guys will never need to split again. But every year we're going to split, because I'll take you for a little walk here. And this is the entrance to the Enchanted Garden. I'm not going to show you the Enchanted Garden because I don't know when this video is going to come up, but there's crazy things happening over there. So we won't get to that right now. I won't turn the camera that way. But you can see, so right that way is the Enchanted Garden. And you can see, we got an entranceway. I've gone to here, haven't done anything here. And then we've just got, woods. I've dug up some rocks in piles. I've got little sporadic piles, but nothing's been done back here. Enchanted Garden, you can access it right there. But all this is where we want to see. This is just so you can see, and my feet are going to crunch on the leaf, but just so you can see, this is what we deal with. Like, it's just brutal. And we take all this, all these trees, like we're going to go see down to that big oak. These are going to be gardens down there. And there's a massive oak tree down over here by our neighbor's house, and we go past that oak tree. And it's just beautiful, beautiful ground. So are we going to need to split more hostas? Yeah, we're probably going to be, and it goes probably 600 feet that way of just stuff that needs to be done. Like, here, I'll come over. Well, here, you're with me. Let's just go for a little walk. And you can see the million trees. This is, when we're cutting a million trees. Like, I'm trying to go slowly so I don't. But like, the Enchanted Garden is right next to me. Like, I'm touching mushrooms with this hand here. So I'm not going to show you that, but the Enchanted Garden will probably be in here. Our backyard, Nellie's project that she's done there is right there. So there's tons and tons and tons of stuff. Every year this won't be a year. This will be, 3 years of slowly, because there's just two of us and we don't have a bulldozer. Nellie wants one though. She's told me, need a bulldozer. But it keeps us in shape. We got to say that. And there we are. We got all this to do. We made a little pathway down, but we go right down to, there's a road down there. It's actually just a driveway, and we go right down to there. So, maybe 150 feet there. And we've got our backyard, the Nellie's project, where she built the bar. She got these stools. She found them somewhere. She redid them, and this is kind of our nighttime oasis. This is, I keep speaking of the 180 hostas, which you probably never believe me, and actually it's 200 now. But this is them. They're all here. And these were from last year. And they're all growing. And we just kind of, in the wintertime, see, okay, let me back up a little. These were split last year, and we didn't know where they were going. We thought they were going in the hillside garden, but we didn't have the rocks done, and we didn't have the soil done. So we said, hey, let's plant them in little pots. All these pots are pots that we've bought stuff from stores. And let's plant them, and let's put them in the pots, and then we'll plant them in the fall. Anyway, the fall came. We didn't have the beds done. So this is what they kind of look like. They're going to be gigantic this year. And they probably have roots or worms coming out the bottom. And then in the winter, they died off, and we just laid them on their side so that water and ice wouldn't build up in them. And then we tipped them back up in the spring, and there you go. Boom. 180 hostas. Wham. And Nellie's got some new ones right there. And with the new ones and the old ones, it's 200 now. So these are going to go in the Enchanted Garden, of course. So, but anyway, my point is Nellie wants to keep going with this because she's come. This is the greenhouse. We did an episode on the greenhouse, putting it up. There are 2,500 canna lilies in them, in the greenhouse right now, baking away, that will come out soon. That's a different video. But anyway, We're getting close to the road, so it's getting a little bit noisy. But this is where Nellie, this was woods in the spring, complete woods. She took all the trees down herself with her little fancy little new chainsaw she got. She cleaned all the rocks. Every rock you see here, she dug up, and she made these beautiful beds. I'll back up a little, and you can see. So we kind of want that walk that you know, from the whole garden will be a big loop. So we've got so much more to do to tie Enchanted with this garden. But she's done this, and then we go to Nellie's garden. And look at this. This is kind of neat, eh? These logs, she's planted hostas and ferns in the logs. Kind of neat. And then we're going to get down to, you know, this is our more of a native sculpture area. I'll go down. I didn't actually, this wasn't part of this video, but now I'm just rambling on and gonna show you. So we did this path, more electrical. So we got tons more dirt that we need. We're kind of out of dirt. There's our dirt pile. We need to buy some more dirt. And this is gonna be more of the native sculpture area. We're gonna have some lighting in here. These need to be filled, so it's a ton of work. And we're gonna have this sort of sculptures in there. And it brings us all the way to the hillside garden, which it's probably a 20-foot, 30-foot drop down there. And all it is these retaining walls that we built out of rock that we dug up. And we planted this year. And this was what I thought would never get done. There's 240 hostas that have been planted in the hillside garden. So they're all here, strategically placed. We now got to do some weeding in here. We haven't done any weeding, so it's hard to actually see the hostas unless I zoom right in, you'll see the hostas. But, well, you can see them here. Every bed has hostas in them. We love hostas. They're just so easy. It's very hard to kill a hosta. So that's where we are here. And then we come back to the actual main garden, which is over there. You know, we actually should do a garden tour because, you know, things are starting to come up now. You can actually see some stuff. So we did one when nothing was up, and you guys probably thought we were crazy, just pointing at stuff, saying, well, what was there? Because it was just snow and stuff. But anyway, things are starting to come up. May 18th, May 19th today. So anyway, this is going to conclude this little video. And don't forget to like and subscribe and join us on this amazing journey to build this crazy backyard, front yard, side yard oasis. Anyway, take care, guys.